gonna fold there. Okay, so I did a late registration on this little tournament online. I don't know why it's all blurry. Let's see if this would have fixed the lighting. I got 98K. That's just blurry. I like that. Oh, it looks a little better. I'm Neb John at the bottom, the fish. 98,740. $2.50 it says there. On the big blind. So the blinds are 3,500, 1,750 right now. So I have a little less than 30 big blinds. And that means something. This guy raised it. I have Queen Jack offsuit. I'm gonna fold. This guy re-raised it. So the little $2.50 it says by my name. This guy up here says 375. Those are bounties. So whenever you knock somebody out, you get half of their bounty, and the other half goes to your bounty. So whoever knocks you out and gets to have that. And if you make it to the end, you win it all. That guy had 625 over there. You keep your bounty, and you knock out second place, obviously. That's how these things work. That's called, let's see. It's called PKO, Progressive Knockout. 6 max, so that means there's 6 players. So, let's see what's going on here. I'm going to fold. I have a Jack 3. I forgot what the old adage was, but making your hands suited, it increases the greatness of your hand by like, I forgot what they said. It was something like 2%, 3%, something ridiculous. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that angle here. King 9, I got King 9. Somebody raised it. I got raised it. I'm not playing it. You have to understand, like, the value of a hand. It's a relative value. So a King 9 is really crappy. Well, in the 6-handed, it's actually better in the 6-handed game. But when somebody raises, it loses a lot of value. Because usually when they raise, they have a good hand. They could have ace king, they could have king jack, they could have whatever, a pair, king 10. And then if you catch a king, I mean, you got a really bad kicker. All right, that's a 2-6 of diamonds. Nobody raised though, so I'm gonna raise. So you see how I folded king of nines, but now I'm raising because I'm representing. I got position. So position is the thing everyone folds. I want. Position is when you're gonna act most likely to act last. So you gotta understand position. This is kind of a weird because it's only 6-handed, but you may have a hand that may look pretty, but if you're out of position, especially in a 9 or 10-handed game, then you're gonna be up a uphill battle. And it's so easy just to get out of the hand, not make hard decisions, rest your brain. This is a long-term. Tournaments are long-term. You have to understand that. So that guy has ace 9, that got 8s. He caught an ace, so he wins. And that's all I could see. Okay, so now I'm the big blind. I got 7-8 offsuit. You have to understand how many blinds you have too, and it affects what you're doing. Okay, this guy just limped in, so I'm gonna go and bluff. To me, a limp is weakness, so I'm gonna just try to raise him and get a free pot. And there we go, we got a free pot. And then we gotta do the math. So I have 100,000. I'm gonna fold down because I need time to do the math. The blinds are what? Oh, 3.5. So I have just under 30 bigs. I'm going to raise here. If you go right here, this is 28.95 bigs. Yeah, so like I said, I'm just under 30 bigs. So this guy went all in for 79K. So that's a big chunk of my thing. So it's too much for me. I have no kicker. So it's an easy fold. I mean, well, sometimes you make a little bit of ice. Have almost 30 bigs. So it's like, if you understand what 30 bigs, it's just like, I have a lot of opportunity. If either me or him had much less, then we would go for it. Because I don't want to. You have to understand what each bigs mean. The number of bigs. That means big blind. So it's all about possibility. So sometimes, it's like, you have this. And it's like, well, what are the chances of you hitting something? And if there's a lot behind, then you have more opportunity. But when you get to a certain point, then you're like, wait a minute, there's not a lot of flexibility. You have to just sit around and wait for a hand. And then when you have lower blinds, then it doesn't matter. You're desperate. You have to just make moves and just go for it. So that little thing that just came up, that means we went up to 4,000. The blinds are now 2-4. Small blind is 2. And blind means it's blind. You have to. You're obligated to put the money without seeing your cards first. It's 2-4. So after the button, it goes 2-4. So now I'm 4 there. So I had to put 4,000, even though I didn't know what I was going to get. I got a 2-9. That's a good hand in blackjack. I could double down, but in this game, it's not good. Somebody raised it. It's just going to fold. Why put money into a bad hand and bad position? You have to understand it's bad position. You have to act first all times. Now I got 4 queen. Queen 4. Or whatever you call it. Not too good either. But who knows? Maybe he has nothing. I'm going to take a bluff. Just do a little min raise here. Hopefully he folds. If he fights back, we back off unless we get lucky. Okay, he called. We got to get lucky. Well, there's a queen there, so we're going to go half pot. You got to make a thing. Oops, I made a mistake. I tried to hit the half pot button. It's okay. It might help us out. Now I'll hit the half pot button. Touch screens are a little weird sometimes. Got to make sure you got it. So I got a pair of queens. He probably has nothing. That's why he called the 4,000. And he folded. So I ended up getting a little bit more out of my mistake, but you never know. Could have went the other way. A king could have hit, and he had a king. So I got a 5 and dime there, offsuit again. Gonna fold it. And so that's kind of the gist of it. Let's go ahead and do a pause because this may go on for a while. I'm just giving you the idea. Let's see. All right, this guy min raised it on the button. How many blinds do I have? I got 25. I'm gonna do a called squeeze play. Got 20 bigs. Lots of times the guys in the back position, they're just playing the position. So he's raising it, figuring, we got random hands, we're gonna give it up and don't want to play out of position. But since I don't have that many chips, I can put the pressure on him, counting that he has nothing. And I also had a 10 jack, so it's like, it's connectors. It might get something on there. And then there's a thing called here. So I'm on the button now. I'm going to fold, though, because I just played the last hand. And then next to the button, that's called the cutoff seat. Because lots of times the button, since it has the best position, they like to raise and pressure the under seats. So this is called a cutoff seat. So you can cut off the button and then pressure them. And then there's even a crazier seat called here. It's called the hijack, and it's hijacking. And then you can raise from there, depending on where the button is. But since we're playing in only 6-handed, it's kind of crazy because you're almost at the hijack seat. Like right here, it's not like you're playing 9-handed. So you have to understand that sometimes you got to play more hands. When you're playing Like if you're playing with 10 players, you're estimated to win, on average 10% of the time. Doesn't mean you're supposed to play that way, but when you got less players, you're estimated to win more often. So you got to play more hands. And don't think of it as like, oh, you're right here next to the big blind. Don't think of it here like, oh, I'm next to the big blind here. Or, no, think of it as how close you are to the button. That's how you want to understand where you're at to the button. How far are you away from the button? How many seats? And that's exactly how you think of it. If you play poker and you understand how to play from the backside, then it's so easy to adjust. You just go. You don't think of it like, oh, I'm next to the big blind. No, you're next to the button, and that's how you play the hand. It sounds simple, but most people never even thought about that. Okay, I'm gonna fold, and this is the worst position here. I mean, for the starting hand, because you're right next to the big blind. But once the flop starts, this would be the first hand. And the small blind would be the worst hand. So these are the worst three hands. All right. Let's pause it again and we'll catch up later. All right. I tried another squeeze here. That guy raised it. This guy called, and I'm in the big blind, and I got a 9-10. They folded. I got it. Okay, cool. It's like because I need money here. Getting desperate here. All right. Okay, so when you fold, you always want to be paying attention to what they're doing, how they're betting, trying to pick up information. Blinds this one up again. But also over here, look at this. They're 29 out of 38. So I'm in 29th place. I joined this tournament late, so I'm in not a great position, but I have a little bit of flexibility. So the blinds went up to, I think they said, what did they say, 4K? Where does it say? Well, we'll see after.